You mentioned Sarah McBride, which actually perfectly flows into my next question is
I'm
that
sorry I went off on that.
no, it flowed beautifully because we are seeing these divisive headlines, scary headlines every
Yeah.
day. And Sarah McBride did make history being the first openly transgender rep to be elected into Congress. But then we saw House Speaker Mike Johnson backed Representative Nancy Mace's transgender bathroom ban. And I
Yeah.
know that's something you've talked about a lot in skits and in your activism. So, what
Yeah.
has it been like seeing these news stories, and what do you have to say to the people supporting these bathroom bans?
Well, I have to say, first and foremost, as a minority and as underprivileged group of people, we've faced this before. We've been called out and yelled at from the moment we could walk because we were different. And so we understand this mentality. We understand how to fight against it, and how to utilize our strength to change minds and hearts. Like that was the most powerful thing for me when I got on Dirty Sexy, is that no people hadn't heard of trans people really before, and they would see me, they would see Laverne, they would see Alexandria, and we are just fabulous, fabulous people going into their television sets and talking to them like real people. What I have to say to people everywhere is that um, you have to lead, you have to live your life with love and not hate. And it is so frustrating for trans people who really just want to use the bathroom. I mean, that's what it all boils down to. This political divisiveness is obvious, it's see-through, and we see right through it. It's a way to make clicks, to raise money, but it's marginalizing an entire community while you're doing it and causing harm and death in our community. And it's scary, and they should be held accountable for that. What they're doing is awful. They're not very good people.
The trans community has faced so much adversity and is continuing to do so. So, during these times, what is something that allies can do to help?
I always say if you see something, say something, as if trans people know there's a safe space, if there's safe ground around them. If you're a restaurant or business owner, put up a sign, trans people welcome, especially in those states where they're passing these bills. Um, we all as a community need to feel safe, just living in the world that we live in. It's super important. And it all starts at home, it all starts with your family. And I think that some American families have to have a really serious talk with themselves and decide what they want to do in this world, if they want to leave this world with hate or do they want to leave this world with joy and love.
Course, of course. And so, switching gears a little bit, you
Yeah.
appeared on I Am Kate back in 2015, and I know
So much.
you've distanced yourself from her, but how has
Yeah.
it been seeing a trans woman with a platform of her level support the incoming administration?
I tried. I really, really tried. And I have all the love for Kate in the world. She's an amazing person. I just think that she's in a cult and she doesn't realize that. And I tried for 2 seasons, and after the seasons ended, to have discussions with her about immigration and about, like I really tried to go and do it, and like every liberal person should to their conservative friends, and try to like at least start a dialogue, and it's always been frustrating that she doesn't understand that. But I don't have any hate or anything. I think everybody needs to bring the love in their heart, and try to embrace everybody.
Of course, it's so hard sometimes during these moments when you have friends who you care for, but you can't
Totally.
seem to convince them or they're so stuck in their mindsets. So
Their
it's
mindset.
amazing.
It's frustrating that voting rights, uh, women's rights, all of these things were voted because people's egg prices were too high. I mean, that's just really frustrating, but I know we're strong. We're Americans. I'm not believing that this administration is going to take over the world and uh, he's never going to leave office, all those things. We have a strong system that's lasted for over 200 years. And we have a lot of dedicated, hardworking men and women who will make sure that we are going to get through this.
Course. And we've been seeing a lot of conversations like this, especially in Hollywood, and a lot of star celebrities were supporting the Democratic campaign, supporting Kamala Harris, especially for LGBTQIA plus rights. And
Yeah.
so, what is your hope for trans men and women in the industry?
Um, I feel like there's a little bit of a backlash because the conservatives have really taken a liking to hate on us normal folk. I mean, let's really be real here. They're the weird ones. They're the ones that are talking about bathrooms and talking about all this weird stuff. And so I was totally during that programming, that messaging, I was really happy because for us, we've just trying to live our normal lives. I hope that the industry opens up to storytelling, taking on more producers and director roles from trans people, that we can tell our stories authentically and actually just give us a chance to make a name in Hollywood.
Yeah. Media is so, so powerful. And
Yes.
yes. In her concession speech, Kamala Harris said this very beautiful quote of, "Let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billions of stars." And so what are you doing during these times to remind yourself of your shine because you have so much of it? And how are you personally spreading trans joy?
Ah, she's such an amazing woman. It's so depressing. Anyways, um, I've been spending a lot of time with my family. I'm a lucky, lucky girl that I was able to have a really incredible, um, uh, a really incredible family, parents and brother. I have friends around me all the time. I try to find love and joy wherever I am. I'm going to continue working on the projects I'm working on with my business partner Dana Davis with Mary's Mary Productions, so we can get out content that talks about it. And just like SNL, it's fun to do light things to get people laughing with you, not at you, or be divisive against you. And so that's always kind of been my way. I get on stage and I tell jokes about what's going on in my life and lighten a situation up. I know these are dark and heavy times and it's a very serious conversation, but we have members of our community that do that really well. My job is to push media out there to get people in Oklahoma or Nebraska or Mississippi to say, oh, I like Candis. She's like a down home girl. I could invite her to the barbecue. You know what I mean? I want them to start changing their mindset. We're not all, out there being deviants and all of that kind of stuff. We're just like normal people that just want to live our life and safely go to the bathroom.
Course. And so it's such a beautiful message. Those were all the questions I had, but I wanted to ask you if there was anything else that you wanted to share with our viewers, to share with our readers, whether it's about your activism or any personal projects.
Well, like I said, I'm working on I'm working on a couple of projects with Dana for Mary's Mary Productions. We're writing all the time. We're writing a show right now called Avenue D Stories about like our the LGBTQIAT plus community in the 90s in Manhattan, and living through that was super fun. And working on a couple of films, and so I'm just we're getting to work and trying to get over this hump and trying to make a change in the world.